Hey, folks, what's up? It's Wednesday James here again for another edition of What's Up With That Song Wednesday, where I talk about a song that I have written sometime in my life and try and tell you a little bit about why it exists, anything interesting about it that I think is interesting. Your mileage, of course, may vary, but here we are. Time to talk about a song I have not played all that much, actually. It's relatively... okay, anyway, we're talking about today about the song Broken Cup. So here goes nothing. So this song has not yet been released in any official form. I don't know if it's ever really, besides my Patreon friends, I don't know if anyone's actually even heard it until now. By the way, if you're on Patreon, you could have heard this song quite a long time ago, so you should check that out. Patreon.com/JamesHearneMusic. Give it a sign. It's good. Anyway, my last day job before I went full-time into this stupid life that I'm living now. I worked for a small Apple specialist in northwestern Connecticut, sort of a mom-and-pop Apple store, if you want to think about it that way. Actually, a really nice place, frankly, one of the better jobs I've had, realistically. I have no real complaints with them, besides that they weren't, singing songs every day, which is what I do now, which is much better. But anyway, the small town in northwestern Connecticut, one of the reasons that this company is able to function is that there is a fairly expensive private school in that town that supplies Mac computers to all the students. And as everyone knows, students and computers are an interesting mix because things get broken pretty easily. So a company that fixes Mac computers gets a lot of work that way. So we always would have a lot of, during the school year anyway, like a bunch, probably a handful of computers every couple of days would come through to get fixed because someone would, spill water on them or drop them or throw something at them. Or, they're, kids, they're teenagers, they're younger than teenagers, like they just do stupid stuff. Like adults do stupid stuff, but, kids can get away with it because they're, their brains aren't formed yet, whereas adults should know better. Anyway, So one year, and I think this may have been 2019, could have been 2018, I'm not totally sure. Certainly pre-pandemic anyway, but there was a science fair at the school and on the weekend, and the Apple specialist decided to send somebody, which ended up being me, over to the school with a handful of older non-functional computers, but that had been taken apart to some degree, so that we could sit there with a big desktop, the Apple screen, all-in-one desktop thing with the screen taken off, so you can see the internal parts of it, like a couple laptops with different parts. So we have to sit there and someone wants to know how your computer works. Well, this here is this is the cooling fan. This is where the hard drive is. Blah blah, all different pieces. So. Kind of interesting, but it was mostly a student-run science fair, if I recall correctly. So most of the stuff that was happening was, parents of students looking at their students, their kids' work. So it wasn't particularly busy where I was. There were some people interested for sure, but not as many as you might think. So I had a fair amount of time to, dink on my phone, and certainly as you know me, you know that I hate getting paid to sit on my phone. But so I was there, and this is back before Twitter became solely a place for Nazis to gather. So it was still kind of okay sometimes. And I was sitting on Twitter, so I was scrolling, and I saw that a friend of mine had posted on some creative, I don't remember who it was, a name I didn't recognize, was saying, listen, I'm so sorry that I didn't get this thing done that I usually would do for my fans. I've been really under the weather. I don't recall. It's just hey, I'm sorry, didn't get a thing done. It's just been a really hard period of time, and I'm exhausted, and I haven't had the wherewithal to do it. And my friend commented, hey, you can't pour from an empty bottle. Which is not a wildly original thought, but it's just the phrasing of it struck me in a way. And, at the same time, my now ex-wife, but then wife, was sort of a little bit on the comeback from having been on a pretty deep depression period. She was getting better, but she definitely had been pretty far down for a while, and that was sort of before I went down for a while, which is, am I even back up yet? That's a fair question. Anyway, Neither here nor there. Um, and like a lot of my songs are pretty sad or pretty cranky or pretty cynical or I'm attracted to sort of melodrama a little bit in the songs. I'm attracted to a little bit of what have you. But I also want, uh, ideally, I want to write songs that make people feel better. And especially at this time of the world, which is so, I'm not going to get into it. There's a part of me that, a large part of me that really wants to be helpful and supportive. And, it's hard because I'm a snarky person by nature. I come from a sarcastic family. I grew up in the 90s where everything was all about, layering everything in 10 layers of irony and sarcasm. And so it's really hard for me sometimes to just like cut through the bullshit of my bullshit and just be like, hey, this is, this maybe will help you. This maybe will help me. It helps to feel better. And so this, don't pour from empty bottle. Which is, okay, that's pretty good advice. And it led me almost immediately to the chorus. Don't pour from an empty bottle. You can't drink from a broken cup. If your tank is empty, find yourself, ease off the throttle, because you got to get a rhyme in there someplace. Find yourself some love to fill it up. So, and then I just sort of thought, well, okay, there's an old Springsteen quote that like your verses are blues and your chorus should be gospel. Which is an interesting way to go, and that he's very good at, and I'm very bad at. But I have this chorus, which seemed sort of supportive to me. So in the verses, we're trying to think, just sort of stretch out different thoughts of like how, what are different ways that you're down? Are you hungry? Are you sick? Are you tired? Are you? Your more eagle-eyed listeners will catch references to both The Lord of the Rings and also The West Wing, which should give you a sense of my span of brain capacity. But I try to sort of think about ways to sort of adjust that, like what, are you struggling and how and why and what, all I can really recommend, all I can say to help is just you have to like take care of yourself. You have to, and you can't keep functioning if you don't have anything left to give. Which, of course, I think is a lesson that we're all having to relearn over and over again in a post-COVID world. I'm not quite post-COVID, but we were surprised by COVID world. So it just, because I myself am layered with 10 layers of irony and sarcasm, it's sometimes hard for me to feel like that, like this feels a little bit sort of simplistic or a little bit, it's hard to feel great about it, but I do want, it is stuff that I really think is true. I'm trying to not just write songs that are complaining. I'm trying to write songs that are maybe have some suggestions of solutions, or at least some suggestions of a different way to look at things. And that's sort of hard to do poetically for me because, again, it feels like I have to like cut through all this 90s slacker, Dan the Man, Save the Empire bullshit that's just like baked into the fucking pie. But like I think there is absolutely a need for songs that are encouraging and songs that are building up, and it's difficult for me, I think, to do that without feeling like they're a little bit sappy and dumb. And your mileage may vary on this song too, but I think it's kind of okay. I had hopes of putting it on a second solo LP, which I still have, but I don't know when that LP will happen. So this is actually basically, as far as I know, the first release of this song. I don't think it's ever been really heard outside of a few people. So don't pour from an empty bottle. You can't drink from a broken cup. You have to take care of yourself. You have to. I've been in more recent days. I'm very big on you have to put the mask on yourself before you can help the people in your row. Like if you yourself are exhausted and run down, and I myself am exhausted and run down, there's only so much more you can give because you're just at your peak. What rejuvenates you is to love things and people and yourself and the world and the people around you. And I very much hope that maybe this song will help some people find some comfort and some solace in what they are in their struggles, because I know that we're all of us struggling and in our own ways, and sometimes with the same things and sometimes with different things. And I don't know what your struggles are, and you don't know what my struggles are. I mean, I talk about them here, but I think all that we can really do in this life is try to find love in our communities, find love in ourselves, find love in each other, find love in the people around us. And that includes both the people that we choose to put around us and also the people who just exist around us. It is a love for your best friend who is in a different city, and it's also a love for your next door neighbor who you maybe don't know all that well, but who also is your community because they're your fucking next door neighbor. And they may, who knows? Like, who knows who, everybody around you is going through it. Everybody around you is living their own life and trying to do the best they can with it. And everyone around you, the people that you invite around you and the people who just exist around you, the people who work at the gas station you fill up at, the people that take your order at the restaurant, the person that answers the phone when you call your insurance company for a question. Like, these are all people, every single one of them, and they're just trying to do the best that they can with what they have. And you should choose to engage with those people on their own terms and in their own world and in your own world, because that's just how we do this thing. You can. I don't understand people who don't look at other humans as being the same as them. I genuinely don't understand how that can be, how you can look at a Hispanic person and who is just trying to survive on $4 a day picking vegetables and say, oh, they're illegal, get rid of them. I don't understand how you can look at a trans person and want to harm them. I don't understand. I don't. And I don't want to. I don't want to understand how you can how you can be that way. Like, that's a fucking person. That's a fucking person in front of you. And all you should be looking at them for is, do they have enough? Are they okay? Not, are they better than me? Are they worse than me? Do they have enough? Are they okay? And if they are, great. And if they aren't, and you have enough, and you have enough to spare, then spare it, because what the fuck else are we here for? Anyway, I'm not going to rant anymore. I've got things to do today. So, ladies and gentlemen, and all points in between, without further ado, here is Broken Cup. I hope you like it. 1, 2, 3. Are you tired? Are you sad? Are you butter over too much bread? Are you hungry? Are you sick? Are you skating on the brink? Don't pour from an empty bottle. You can't drink from a broken cup. And if your tank is empty, ease up off the throttle. Find yourself some love to fill it up. Did you give it all? And did you try? But does every day just make you wanna die? Are you fixing everyone else at every cost? Did you lose and you're just noticing the loss? Don't pour from an empty bottle. You can't drink from a broken cup. If your tank is empty, ease up off the throttle. Find yourself some love to fill it up. I know every day is hard, but it's better when you're here. Don't let your colors wash away. Don't let them disappear. Did you lose your way? Are you in a pit of doubt? I've been down that hole and I know the way out. Don't pour from an empty bottle. You can't drink from a broken cup. If your tank is empty, ease up off the throttle. Find yourself some love. Go on and find yourself some love. 'Cause you can't pour from an empty bottle. You can't drink from a broken cup.